phenomenal job just rocking their way up at the top of the leaderboard right now. But there are so many moving factors moving into this one, as this is, I mean, we haven't even really seen Petrichor Road pop off. I mean, we've had, there was that one game.
The Rondo was pretty fun. They had some fun in that game. I mean, you could see, though, Aches left is all smiles. Ming Ming, too. I mean, they're still, you know, chilling. They're still vibing, having fun. Kind of, again, a weird situation for them, but a lot of teams there with that western shift back towards the farm in tricky positions where they have to take fights, they have to make moves.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous day for a lot of teams. And yes, club championship points are important, but PGC points are so important as well. So much on the table for these teams, and it's just continuing to get more and more crazy as we're getting in. That mid-game on Erangel was crazy. I mean, what, 30 people alive in Circle 5 in a farm game is nuts.
It is. It was just a very tight ending in terms of what you had left to play and who could do what. So that's, you know, another problem when teams are having to come east to west in that circle, is there's so many teams that are just tucked in as tightly as they can, so you don't have the ability to say, go for a crash onto the farm, because you're just going to get cut down trying to drive through. We saw that with a couple teams like CTG that tried to drive into the circle and just got wrecked, mostly by Sharper, who had a phenomenal game for themselves, really giving themselves some hope to maybe do something here and get into that grand finals. But yeah, this plane path is not so good.
Interesting. So remember, Rock did drop in Novo last time and did the shift into farm with an early read on Circle, so paid up big for them. This can kind of go wherever. It does, I mean, if you're going off the plane path, you do feel like maybe this is going to lean a bit over the military base island. But I mean, we could have a peninsula ending over there into the east. There's a lot to really look at. AGAL also finding some kills inside that last game, getting a lot more active. That's going to be pretty scary. Circle goes, no, none of those places. Wow. We're going to go up next to Yasnaya Fields again, still keeping Stolber off of this plane path, still having Stolber in circles. Kind of surprising.
It is. It is about as north as you can go in some ways. You can, of course, go more north, but it's pretty up there. So for teams that are on Sosnovka Island, that are going to be in Primorsk, like, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a bunch of them try to get those early E-pickups and get in the air and get towards that northern edge, maybe Kameshki, up towards that road, west of Yasnaya, to try to grab some vehicles and set yourself up for the mid to late game. FN's already on the move.
Well, that's what I was kind of noticing, is we've got kind of a mad dash up next to that Georgia Pole area. So FN, I'm curious if they're just going to go all the way up to North George. Team Liquid's going to be following them back behind them because they're going to be going over to Georgia Pole. Rotating a bit longer in the circle isn't the worst, given the fact that you still have so much of that northern area and Stolber and the Badlands west to it, even having Kameshki inside the circle. So a lot of rotation options that you can have for you. VP still just chilling in that 36-point area. They're on track, but they got to have something start going their way a bit more favorably to get some momentum going.
Well, this is like danger zone for VP, because if you try to cross the eastern bridge, you have to suspect that maybe Rock is going to go for a camp, because they have nothing to lose. They can set up on that bridge and just trap rotations if they want. So you can already see Lucarux is driving away from that. It's Gatka for Team Liquid, but
well, this is interesting with Team Liquid. As we were kind of talking about this during the break between the two of us, Team Liquid, aka Shoot to Kill, has been like a fan favorite team for forever.
Sure.
In PUBG. They're getting like a bit booed, you know, as competition's going on for the club championship.
Yeah.
This is the first time they're having to deal with that type of environment where they're kind of the villains of this.
A little bit, yeah. It is kind of weird to think about. I mean, just a team that's always older. And by the way, just look at the map, look at the West. So FN had already gotten ahead of Team Liquid, and they're kind of driving a little bit close to where Starlord is. Heaven on top of Rock, and Rock doing kind of a little bit of what I suspected they might in terms of getting to that crossroads outside of the bridge early to try to make sure that they can dictate traffic there. I assume that the Freaks just couldn't find an emergency pickup or something and are going to have to do this with vehicles, so it's going to require good scouting from Heaven.
I mean, it feels like maybe they're just trying to scout and see whenever Rock goes, then they know that they can go. This is an interesting lay of the land for them to see how this is all going to play out. Also in the George Pole situation, we did have GK that finally made it up over there as well. But, yep, here's Starlord. This is kind of what I was expecting might happen. FN did have the inside track to get to position early, and might have tried to pick up something, and that's going to be Kurt going down early, and that is not what Team Liquid wanted to start this off. But, hey, at least now he can kind of like micromanage his other players.
There you go. I like your half glass full approach to that. But this is kind of funny to me because if you think back to really old school Star-Lord, like you're thinking back to like Active Stars Red, VSG, he loved to come to North George. This is actually his old dude. This is
we used to see over in Korea.
Old drop spot for Star-Lord's teams. You know, he's been in IGL for quite some time. You know, he did have a bit of a journey over to Japan for a while. Now back in Korea. You know, he was on D+ last year for a bit. But he is kind of wrapped pretty far. Geek's actually wrapped over towards the Georgia Pole Bridge, and they're making their way through North Georgia as well. So a lot of, you know, unintended action because of the bad plane path, because of the bad circle, that teams are having to square up and duke it out a little bit over in a part of the map that you normally just wouldn't expect in a situation like this.
Updates on the circle itself, you can see that we're looking at T5. This is going to be pretty far north, just to the east of Yasnaya itself. Sharper's got Yasnaya footholds just down to the southeast of it. Geek, you can see that this is the split that they're running over here into the North George area. FN's actually pretty close to them. It's going to be Star-Lord. He's got to be a bit cautious. The other members for Team Liquid still playing into the southern Georgia Pole area. In the circle itself, most other teams have already managed to get in there. VP has managed to find an emergency pickup, so it looks like they're just going to kind of jump across the entirety of the circle. Rock hasn't really moved yet, so that's kind of left Freaks stuck over here. So Salute looks like he's got his own goals, and DL does spout out RBN, and he is down, out, and flushed, so the door is opening for the Freaks.
Yeah, this is fantastic patience for the Freaks. They let one of the cars of Rock go, and then when they saw another, they were in a position to punish, and they're going to get that kill. Now, Guman is going to be watching the tail end of Rock. I mean, this is fantastic scouting work from the Freaks. They have had so much information up on this radar tower mountain for so long. They knew exactly when and where they could pounce on top of Rock and take advantage of them. So Guman, I don't think he's going to pull the trigger at this range necessarily, unless he's already planning on leaving this situation. Then he might just send a little damage in if he could, but looks like he's already going back to the coop. Doesn't want to reveal his position. It is tricky in that spot. When you only see one player, you're not 100% sure maybe where the other is. Just let him go. You could set up, you know, you're going to force them to make a rotation, but BL's camping the bridge.
This is a good read, realizing the fact that with the Freaks getting that one kill onto one of the Rocks members, that means that they saw the one that crossed the bridge, knows that they're going to be holding, so that means that they have to let Rock go first. If anything, getting that kill says, okay, we have to stay here for a second.
Well,
got to let you go. Well, I say
that.
They're now in vehicles, and this might be the worst possible time for the Freaks to opt into going into this angle, unless they're just trying to gatekeep out and maybe counter bridge camp.
I think Heaven just saw Solds' position, saw the edge of that Dacia, so I think this is now, that's why the Freaks pulled up. I think they just got the information because what you were saying I think was going to be true, where they thought they might be able to make their move. But this is a bit of a positional battle here, but the Freaks are going to continue to have the advantage, not just because they have the extra player, but because they have that high ground info to make some decisions. Finally, it is going to be Heaven who starts to kind of make a move.
Well, okay, so now Solds has to come back. He's going to regroup with Santastico. BL's still on an island by himself, and by an island I mean a bridge, as the other members of Freaks now can't move forward. So the Freaks have kind of set themselves up into their own lockbox. They're the ones that kind of were proactive in trying to get the kill here, but now they know they can't move forward, because I know that they spotted out BL move. I think that maybe Human spotting out that one member that was just kind of dancing around up on top of the crates and trying to get some more loot. Maybe they thought that they had the timing, and they thought that maybe they could just run past one member in Rock. But it's just a game of seconds in PUBG, and that 1 second that Human looked away means now back into it. Rock hops in their vehicles and they shift over. Now Rock, though, I think is just going to go, okay, they were set up, looked like they were going for the pier. Instead, they're going to go for an emergency pickup. So BL might just be by himself. This is a great spot to be. Is he going to go for any shots? Is he going to let them pass? I think he just might say, okay, no, y'all are good. Yep. Okay. Because he has to trail by himself. The other members are going to be in the emergency pickup. He doesn't want to take the shots. He just wants them to think that he's gone.
I thought for a second they might do something bizarre, like try to jump BL onto the ferry from the bridge, like while they're all like going.
I mean, he could.
It was like in my mind, I'm like, maybe? Nah, no.
Style points.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted like cool points. Like that's like next level rotation strategies. But yeah, with an emergency pickup there, you're 100% taking that every time.
Quick update. Blue Chip did get picked up by Team Liquid. Kurt is doing a parachute in right now, but guess what? He's going to be
close to FN.
So, well, John could make their life a bit difficult. I don't know if they spotted him, but it looks like Zenith did glance back that direction. That could be an issue. Actually, multiple members of Pochon all look like they might be converging into where Team Liquid's at.
They know what that is.
It could be scary.
They know exactly what that is. That's why they're driving at Kurt. The rest of Liquid is trying to get there to back him up. There's going to be a fight going on here very soon.
Show us Kurt. He's got to have a gun. He has to have something. Everybody from Pochon is coming in here really quick over into the west. Is Team Liquid just going to go ahead and try to run the gauntlet because FN entirely turned back around on this? New circle has popped. It does go down in the south. Santastico and the rest of the crew should be fine. Looks like the Freaks have also popped an emergency pickup. Everything's getting stopped off over here. Looks like Team Liquid members do manage to regroup fast enough over into the west. Shots are now starting to pop in between them. Who got it? It's going to be Zenith gets a knock onto Alo, and Luke's already got a counter knock onto Americano.
Oh, but Sparking has a BDRM. He's trying to get it to turn to crush it. The thing does not have the greatest turn radius. This one might do it. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
That's some nice revenge here. FN might just have to kind of take this fight and wait to try to go for a res for themselves. You know, Zenith there trying to put some damage into Sparking, but not sure if Sparking grabbed the blue chip there momentarily.
I mean, if you're a BDRM, if you just pick it up, I mean, sure, it shows you on the map where it's at. Just kind of drive along with it. I was like, I dare you. How are you going to get me out of this thing? Get a little bit of vengeance, I guess, back. But, I mean, it did come at the cost of Alo, so mixed blessings.
It's not great for either team, to be honest. It isn't the fights you really want to be taking. I get why FN did it, though.
They're at 53. Bully Team Liquid, sure.
Oh, well, and you know who that is. You know when that player's coming in that parachute, you know 1,000,000% that's Purdy Curdy, who you killed earlier, and he's coming in with absolutely nothing, so you can punish that. I get that decision. It's just, you know, Team Liquid was getting there really quick to help out.
Okay, so Gen.G is doing a very far wrap down to the south. Rock looks like they're regrouping entirely, but they're going to be next to the Freaks yet again, who are going to be in the middle of a red zone. Pretty much center of this circle is going to be Petrichor Road, Twisted Minds, Change the Game, and Falcons. We still have Lippo that's going to be inside the circle itself. Shelter, Prison, all of that fun, as well as even having Mansion, Heaven, Sky Garden, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of interesting ways that this could go.
Yeah, this is a nice circle here for Twisted Minds, who had to change their drop spot on this map. You know, this event, both them and Petrichor Road kind of had an agreement. We're not going to fight over School and Power Grid. On Miramar, we are going to split it half-half. So on this map, Lipovka is the new drop spot for Twisted Minds, their main drop spot. And they're going to have nice access to some of those hills. The Freaks able to get in to the southern end of the circle. Rock there just to their west. Don't see a res coming through. Not sure if they're able to pick up that chip. I think the Freaks were able to successfully defend that kill that they got in the Crossroads compound just to the west of Novo. And FN, there was a moment there where they might have bumped into Team Liquid again. I was watching the map. I was like, oh boy, this might be round 3. But instead, FN peels back and is going to, I think, go for the res is maybe my assumption.
Yeah, Luke's making a run to what looks to be a tower.
I think they're both going for reses.
Yeah, this is potentially odd. So, well, actually, no, Luke ends up pulling away from the tower. So,
but I don't know if FN got the chip. That's what I was thinking.
I don't think that they could have, because they all headed to the hills. This is just kind of this is an awkward duel between two teams that just keep kind of bumping into each other. And I mean, right now it's been Pochon. They've been the ones that have been the proactive part of this. They got the knock onto Kurt, they got the flush, and then they turned back to come after him yet again. So,
okay, so I don't think they have the chip. They're not going for the tower, at least not initially. Just stopping to heal here momentarily as we look to see where.
Pochon's way over to the west. You can barely see them.
Yeah, you can just see the edge of Star-Lord's name. Where is this circle going to go? You know, does it have to leave water just yet? Ooh, yeah, so it's going to keep some of that water in there, keep all of Lipovka proper inside of the circle. A lot of the prison area, that's going to be where Salute and the Freaks are. BB team needs a big game. They are PGS 8 winners and need to get something going in this one, and they have, at least for now, a decent-looking opportunity. There's an emergency pickup that was popped by Geekay, but I don't think they're all going to take it.
They might want to wish that they had, as T5 is going to be cutting right in front of them. So we're pretty much Lippo down to Pride Rock near Prison. Freaks are going to be trying to hold down that Pride Rock positioning, looking down where Rock's going to be moving from. TDT is going to be right on the edge of the zone just to the west of that. Then it's going to be all on to, this is the crew that's going to be trying to get into the circle. Geekay, they are inside for the time being. Sharper is rotating back behind them, and that could be an issue. Twisted's going to be just on the other side of GK. But we also have AGAL that needs to go in the circle. Gen.G, who's been on a tear. Team Liquid. Pochon, this is absolutely nuts. But GK, you got to be careful, man. Quizzy is coming down on a parachute, but it's going to be Sharper right up on top of you.
I'm not sure if that's lucky or not that he was up in a parachute while Sharper was driving there. He's not going to be able to really help out the rest of his team. Sure, he can give them some early warning. Divic's just immediately going for the beach, saying it's vacation time. Try to hide from Sharper, but they know he's in a really bad spot. There are no easy ways up from there, and he takes just a smidge of damage.
Earth sends Divix down into the ocean. So, up on top, we got the Thunder potentially rolling as really GK can't wrap back into this. Remember, there's a lot of people that have this hillside with vision. So Sharper doing the stop off here means that the other members for GK can't come back up into this elevated position because Twisted's got vision on it, and even T5 as well. You could potentially lose multiple members making this wrap around. Speaking of wraps, down in the red zone, we got ourselves Rock as well as Pochon continuing their rotate. Oh, and Team Liquid is going to be rotating right into Gen.G and AGL. That is its own independent mess, man. Team Liquid cannot find a path anywhere in the circle.
No, there was so much chaos going on for them. It just took so long to get into this circle. They're going to have a really tough time with it. There is a grenade from Luke 12. He's found 2 over there.
Hey, maybe some kills could be big. That's points. Team Liquid, they do manage to hold it for now. Nade goes good, lands on top of Purdy. Sparking's going to come rolling in after it. Team Liquid trying to get proactive in and of themselves, just rolls right up next to him. It's like, no, you're trapped in here with me now. Sparking just locked him out, not letting him get anything out of it. Rolls back out, Sparking, can you run him over? It's going to be pretty hard.
He didn't have enough speed.
Didn't have enough speed, now it's going to let him go. Sparking, is he getting the most driving kills in one game? I don't know.
He's trying. He's definitely trying. That was hilarious.
Flame's like, what do I...
Yeah.
Oh, Luke, there you go. All right, starting to get some points. Again, this isn't the way Team Liquid wants it, but they're finding points.
Yeah, man, that's good. I'm still curious about this fight with Sharper and GK now, as Sharper kept Exquisite back to watch Quizzy to make sure that he wasn't going to be able to get to the rest of his team easily. I really like that play from Sharper, but now they got to make a dive, and they're losing players quick. That's 2 down. Fast and furious. Thunder's Exquisite gone from this one. Jedi trying to see if he can get behind him. He does get the knock, but it's actually Batulins from Twisted Minds from range who's going to find that knock. Earth, the only one left here, trying to claim whatever he can.
Nobody's coming out of this one clean, except for Twisted, who's just enjoying, pretty much just farming ADR right now. Quizzy just going to bleed out here in just 1 second. Earth, I don't even know what you can do. I mean, Quizzy just want to make sure that he secures the kill for his squad, gets a bit more loot for it. He might be able to get the res, but I don't know what's even going to get out of that because you got PWD that's going to be down there as well as Twisted. So that's the northern part of the circle. Down in the south, we got AGAL as well as Petrichor Road roaming. TDT as well as the Freaks that are going to be right up on top of each other. Freaks going to be having the high ground on TDT, getting spotted, but Salute gets spotted in his rotate. DL, though, not going to go without a response of his own. DL having tag team it together.
That was some nifty shooting there.
Oh, in Liquid, no.
Oh, boy.
Out of all the ways to approach.
Oh, no. McEwen's so ready for it. He's got 1 down, looking to do some more damage. Sees the BDR, he's like, nah, bro, I'm not giving you any more run over. Look at Sparky. He's got a little smile on his face. He's just loving life in this BRDM. But this is kind of a disaster for the Freaks. This is phase 4 blue. It's starting to chunk. Oh, Purdy, please, my friend. Hit that shot. Oh, just missed.
I mean, Liquid needs every point they can get. Purdy Curdy's going to go down. Team Liquid going to make him the villain, so Sparking's just going to embrace it. He's going to be bullying everybody around him that he can.
I know, it is.
It's a mess.
Oh, he found a friend!
AGAL!
They're twins!
By our powers combined, let's go run over everybody in the lobby. Why are we fighting each other? We could be friends instead.
Is this going to be like a Highlander situation? Oh, no! Oh, God! Tycon almost gets run over.
Destroyed, just pops up. AGAL. I mean, you got to be vibing. Let's do a quick listen in with them to see how it's going.
Nó đi vòng lên em. Nó màu này. Thằng đó trên xe em, thằng đó trên xe em ơi. Bơm cho. Nó màu em ơi. Mà xưa em. Còn cuối đi luôn rồi. Cuối vòng còn hai hàng thôi. Từ đi tao đạt. Lúc cái. Lúc đây. Thằng lùn vòng với cả. Từ đi chưa? Lia. Mày ghép. Cố kìa. Đây bắn mình không? Bắn mình. Lên xe ngồi cái. Hãy cho sửa. Từ từ chết đó Hải. Bắn cối không biết chết.
Mortars raining down, but AGAL starting another terrible game of their own. Falcons trying to make something happen over here as it's just going to be Evan, the last one up for the Freaks. They go down. Falcons getting control over the mansion area for the time being. They still have Sharper that's just going to be up to the north of them. AGAL, new circle pops. It leans into twisted direction, so that means AGAL, Petrichor Road, Pochon all have to make moves. Falcons just going to be the north of this. Do they want to get involved? Shrimsy and Kickstart look like they want to make some points of their own.
This is going to be really interesting. The Falcons actually looking to maybe get behind AGL. Do they have a Panzer ready for this BDRM? We did have one available earlier that took down poor Sparking there. And it was a Highlander situation. There can only be one, and it's AGAL's who's going to be the sole surviving BDRM right now. They're trying to drive ahead, but oh man, Petrichor Road. That's some disgusting spray from range there from Wenbo. That is pretty far.
AGAL just kind of looks over at people getting shot out of their cars. Peasants. We continue to drive.
Sucks to be you, nerds.
We'll just stop off here, I think. Oh, look, there's people we can shoot. BDRMs and AGAL. I'm scared.
That is a scary combo. It's just like I'm just waiting for a random Panzer to just blow them all up. And Himas, gets taken out by Ming there. Not quite ready for Petrichor Road to be coming up over that hill on foot. Tycon able to respond, so Non-Aches left alive, but very, very weak. Ming is going to get run over by Tycon. As Himas, they definitely want to get him rezzed back up and running because they have more fights brewing.
There's a ton of teams coming over here. We've got BB that's approaching on a similar vector. BP is caught up with T5 on the other side of the hill. Falcons up into the north. Looks like they were trying to assault the position just to the north of Twisted, but remember that we still have DK over there. Sharper spotted that out. Looks like they're wrapping in back behind it. So Falcons do lose one, but DK loses multiple. PWD is still back behind him, so that's its own problem that could pop off any moment. Good nade coming up from Perfectix. Drops it on two, and now it is just on to Tickleton. PWD pops off. Falcons are eliminated.
Oh, that was a tough one for the Falcons. They almost hit a good grenade onto the roof that Perfectix was on, but it missed. It went just a bit too far, and he was able to punish the heck out of them. Grenades now making their way in towards AGL. It's BB team's turn up to bat. Bill first trying to get some shots down. Can't really connect too much damage. Meanwhile, back into the safety of that BDRM for some of these AGL players. Himas trying to use the smoke to stay obscured, to stay alive. CTG not too far from this fight too.
Oh, and VP instantly eliminates T5 just to the east of this position. BB, got to be careful as now VP has eyes. They hear this firefight. Looks like Lucarux might be eyeing it, change the game. Also might be changing an angle, seeing if maybe they can get on to AGAL, who's just been kind of bullying everything around them. They are just climbing 10 kills for AGAL. This is how we expected this team to play.
Yes, this is much more AGAL. This is much more Vietnam. They are just running and gunning and making it work. Obviously, the BDRM very helpful in this situation, but we haven't seen it be like that impactful of a vehicle really until this game, where teams have been able to find moments where they don't just get panzered out of it and get some success. VP looking for a third party, looking to see if any fights are going to kick off on that edge, but right now, BB team is just tucked in together, huddled together, waiting for CTG to try to make a move. AGL is also in a similar boat.
This is going to be a really fat twist of minds. There's like 3 teams that are right over there that they're getting loot off of. Change the game. Uphill battle that they could have to be facing versus BV over here. So a couple of peaks between them. Nox could be big. AGAL already in the gatekeep position in the new circle. VP is just going to be to the east of them, so change the game. Not a lot of options. If they go to the north, they have to deal with an entrenched Twisted Minds who's just gotten fully refilled on ammo, meds, everything else along those lines, and having a compound. So change the game instead. Really wants to push along this hillside. BB, though, starting to realize that they don't want to get caught in this fight. They know that AGAL is already up in the north. They're going to move into the east, but that puts them into VP's line.
This should be Twisted Minds' game to win, you would think, just because of everybody else is just fighting on the south, and it's pretty unlikely that one team is going to come out with 4 up to take a fair fight against them. Iduzi, just looking around the corner, gets lit up. Tycon there, laying down some earth, but Corexi actually finds Destroy, and it's Phil first.
This is really interesting. Is AGAL constantly moving their BRB just to kind of get in the right spot to block off shots from teams? So it's like a roaming piece of cover. Like, look, it just does not sit still. They do lose Tycon off it, but it was just constantly shifting from point to point to point. That was really cool. All right, so we have got Change the Game coming up back behind them. BB now in trouble. They just have to send it. No options to go. BB VP gets eliminated, but they run right in the middle of VP. AJL now also doing the exact same thing, roaming right into it. Change the game now has way more space to work with than they did just 1 moment ago. So AJL now kind of dealing with this rock in front of them, but VP's not gonna bite. They were waiting for him to jump out, coming alive. 12 kills out of their own. VP wants it. They want more kills and they want to climb this leaderboard, sitting at 52 points right now.
Himas wants to claim this kill, but he can't get the angle. So now Nixie just going to lay into this vehicle, hoping the BDRM is weak. Can see the feed. Yeah, nothing Himas can do there. That is just a tough spot to be in. Just a bit off a little bit more than they could chew there for AGAL. But this is a massive game for Virtus.pro up into that top 16. Currently sitting in 13th place. Now CTG's turn up to bat, but they're getting backstabbed by Twisted Minds as they try to push up towards Virtus.pro.
Twisted realizes all the fighting's happening down in the south. They're in a good position, pretty much already qualified, but they want to secure this. They want to continue the roam in. There's a lot of points that could be had. Change the game now in a pinched position, right on the edge of the zone. And Winbo right on the back. He gets spotted. Lucarux instantly shuts that one down. As now it's going to be VP joining in all the fun and games of a big giant truck.
They played Grand Theft Auto and they're trying to put this to good use.
Oh no,
Tiantan, no, not like this, not like this. Oh well, something's going to kill him one way or another. Hang Tuai going to go down as well. Beamy just looking for an opportunity to do some damage himself. Nixie's driving around, hoping he can find him. Oh, so close.
Those smokes, I mean, bullets on one side, BDRM on the other side. What do you even do? Just having to juke through it all. He's still alive. And honestly, the longer he holds this up means that Twisted can get into a better spot. Beanie's already kind of held over into the east. So finally, Tian goes down, but he takes himself out. No, you cannot kill me by running.
Smart. I'm totally fine with that. But this is interesting. Now VP, for now, has a 4v4. It's not as good. You know, the high ground's going to be under Twisted Minds' control. You suspect they have a lot more util to work with based on the fact that, like you were talking about earlier, they had a bunch of bodies they could scoop up stuff off of. They have the high ground, they have the compound, they've been chilling there. They haven't had to throw out too much. So Batulin's even has level 3 gear. It's scary.
Yeah, but I mean, they're now having to walk into the circle. Chasing down those kills, trying to go after, change the game, kind of put them behind the pacing on this. And VP, Beamy very far into the east, got that vision. Nixie looks like he's going to shift over as well, get some mobile cover that he can work with. He's going to go all the way up to the north, set up a crossfire line right along the center point. Remember, we're only in phase number 7 because we don't go to Circle 8 or Circle 9 sometimes anymore because we just got kills to be had.
That's right. Well, this is a circle that doesn't lend itself to longer fights because of the openness of it. And Beamy there taking some damage. Perfectix just tracking this BDRM. I'm super curious if there's a Panzer available here for Twisted Minds and if that's why they're bringing those cars up. I mean, obviously you want those cars for the cover and other stuff, the rotation ability into this late game circle. But if you had packed one into the back of one of those cars, you have a real chance to just wipe Nixie out here, clear out an extra flank that VP isn't going to be able to hold, and make this a little bit easier for yourselves.
While kills are definitely in the favor of VP, you can see Perfectix has just been farming damage. Number 1 in the lobby right now, I think it was at like 650 somewhere around the line. Example's going to be right back behind him in 5th place. This is just, they've had a lot of control over here. Now with this split position, you can see 2 members of VP are very far down to the south. Twisted feels like they read that. They're leaning more north. They've got this dip that they can play for the time being. It's going to give them some comfort. That also means the fact that they're assaulting the weaker positioning that VP is playing from. So VP, if they spot this out, Nixie feeds the information over, VP might know that they get some more terrain that they can play with over here, but the circle yet again goes centered up, and it's going to be on to Twisted to move.
Yeah, so Twisted just set up shop right in this dip that they found. They've got a bunch of extra stuff like folding shields. I even saw a gas can in there for them to kind of use and try to situate themselves however they want to try to attack this last circle. Nixie just has to be very, very careful. It even takes a moment to breathe here, this BDRM. Look, he takes his hands off the mouse and keyboard once he gets in. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. They can't do anything about this right now, and if they have a Panzer, I'm dead anyway.
Well, the problem with it is Beamy actually does need to get into the circle, and Twisted knows exactly where he is. It feels like they're trying to punish over the smokes and go after Beamy, and yeah, you can see he knows he's kind of trapped over here unless something happens. I mean, Nixie has the perfect distraction, depending on how he wants to use it. The other 2 members for VP are still playing down to the south. Oh. I think that they've got a bit of the ridgeline that they can play, so a couple of seconds before the circle starts closing in, and all pressure is going to be onto Beamy, so Nixie getting a bit of pressure now of his own as finally the vehicle explodes. That thing's been taking a lot of bullets.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, it's about time that thing's going to blow up because it's been taking a lot of damage. There was a Panzer, but Tulins held onto it, got the knock as well. Now they're going to use some smokes to try to scale forward into this next circle. Perfectic's going to be on Beamy duty. He's got level 3 gear. He's got a P90 in the back pocket, but Tulins does get knocked here. So now it is a lot more difficult for Twisted Minds.
They still all up together. VP is still leaning into the south. They don't want to commit yet. They do have a sight line along this road, and they're hoping that they can get the shots on the Twist as that's going to open up. With the smoke wall down, that makes it a lot more complicated. Beamy going down makes this a lot easier. They run forward. They should be able to get the res. Perfectix taking some damage, so it's just going to be onto Luca Rux and Corexi way down into the south while it's all onto Twisted Minds. Get their res back up, get their meds. Yes, there is some cover over here for VP, but remember, economy is so strong for Twisted.
Exactly. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of level 3 gear, level 3 guns, smokes, frags, a lot available still for Twisted Minds. So it is going to be very difficult. VP's just going to have to hit nasty shots as Beamy finally going to be cleaned up. 2v3 now, or 2v4, excuse me. We got the res onto Batulins, and Lucarux just looking for an opportunity. No more smoke grenades left in your smoke grenade launcher. Oh, Corexi got a knock, but Lou, quick to answer.
Okay, it's getting a bit crazy over here. Lucarux has to run into the open, right onto the road. He wanted to see if he can get some vision onto Example. He knows he is outnumbered. He can't let these fights go on for too long or it's going to be a problem. Example also in the road, so just out in the cover. Nothing to be had between them. Lucarux manages to get the knock, but there is going to be now Lou and Batulins both running down. Lucarux knows he doesn't have much time, does get his meds back up, but this is going to be a downhill battle. Corexi trying to crawl forward, seeing if he can feed some information over. He instantly gets knocked out. Batulins knows where it's at, throwing up the nades. Lucarux just trying to step forward. Nades rain down, and that is going to be all on Twisted Mind.
Oh boy, that was not easy at the end. A little bit of a wry smile from the IGL of Twisted Minds. Batulins able to win the 1v1, but man, Lucarux gave that a hell of a try. He was so close to winning that battle, but Twisted Minds able to hang on. But you got to feel good about that as VP. That is a phenomenal game.
That was big for them. Second place, I don't even remember where they ended kills, 15, something along those lines. That puts them in so much better of a position. AGAL on a tear of their own. That was just an absolutely nuts Erangel, and I didn't read any part of that coming out. I mean, we had the Team Liquid and Pochon fights at the start of this one. We've had blue chips coming in, reses back and forth, BDRMs all over the place. I'm okay. If this is how Erangel's going to play,
yeah,
I'm down for it.
It's a great game. Yeah, a lot of fun and a lot of interesting sort of butterfly effect situations. You know, like you were talking about with Team Liquid, with AGAL getting a BDRM. All these things kind of cascaded into the late game with VP having a BDRM, so they could take a much more fair fight against Twisted Minds with that 4v4. Twisted with that extra level of level 3 gear.
That's
and
scary.
Yeah, that is, when he's smiling, it's over. You're just cooked. You're done. Forget it.